Welcome to Answers from the Universe and the Andronicus transmissions on Wolf Spirit Radio, Ever Beyond Radio, and Studio 9 Jam on YouTube. With your host, Jessica Ariel Morocco, featuring JP as the voice of Andronicus. Please visit www.readingsbyrael.com, that's A-R-A-E-L.
From the future, by way of the past. I bought my ticket for the 15th century. We started moving through a hole in history.
You're listening to Wolf Spirit Radio.
Everyone, and thank you for joining us today. And it's another interesting, wonderful day, beautiful sunshiny sky, and there's all sorts of things going on. For those of you that were interested in the trip to Ireland, I just wanted to let you know that we moved it to October 2nd instead. And I'm believing that it's all in the right, proper place and time, and that all the right people will be there. I did have someone contact me who I thought of her at the same time, and I was delighted that she was interested in coming. So there are people that know that when we go there, something wonderful is going to happen. It's the first time I would be in the British Isles, and so I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of remembering and a lot of new energies that are going to collide because of so much stuff that I've opened up. I'm sure that it is pleasant stuff, only the good. So, but anyhow, we have the messages from answers from the universe, and it's funny, this is the Andronicus show, but today Andronicus had a no-show. So, I just didn't connect with him, and he's elsewhere doing something. I'm not sure why, but I just want to say hello, JP. Thanks for being here and helping run the show and doing a magnificent job here on Wolf Spirit Radio and all the great programming that you contributed to the world. And one day they'll all be able to see it instead of the amount of people that already know about it and are keyed in. So, and also
yes.
Support.
By then, it will be too late for the powers that be. That's
we
the
want
idea
everyone
anyway,
to support the station, not only by listening, but also by contributing financially, to the station to keep it running, and also to, send many wonderful gifts and love to JP whenever you can. And, also, if you want to be a part of, the Andronicus website, I know we have, some people have volunteered their time. We're still, I have done a rough sketch of some of the artwork I shared with JP this week of the characters. And, I'm wondering if anyone has, some animation, expertise or anyone that wants to contribute to that or anything else that they would like to contribute to our website or ideas. So we're welcoming that. And, JP, I just wanted you to say, it sounded like you were going to say some more.
Well, I was just going to say that we're building up this website. It's kind of, at the moment, it's really just like if anybody's interested. And it's about inspiration. Who's inspired by listening to these shows to draw or to paint or to write even? Maybe we could even get some fan fiction going before we even get a series, before we get a TV series going. And in a way, it's like we're kind of throwing faith in that maybe one day it will be a TV or a film series. Just imagine what, just draw out what you think the set might look like, what the inside of these places are, these different scenes that it's like, there's Olympus, there's all the different spaceships and portals and control rooms that we talked about, different planets. Interesting, just like maybe we could make this an entirely open source sci-fi.
Yeah, and it's really funny is because people do contribute different perspectives, and some of you're listening in because you have some kind of role in this. You remember it. There's the storyline, the characters are familiar to you, and so maybe you have a perspective, or you see an aspect of it that I'm seeing from my perspective and what they're showing me, but maybe you're more familiar with the spaces that we've gone to. I don't know if you remember the Blue Room, JP. Remember the Blue Room?
Yeah, the soft, squishy marshmallow, memory foamy Blue Room, yes. The control rooms.
Well, it showed up again today.
Did it? Ah.
Yes.
Ooh. Well, it's all going to be very interesting and exciting then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's a few, disciplinary actions going on today, and not necessarily against humanity, but for some of those that have been a little bit out of line. And so, some of that information was revealed, and I caught something last night, when we were talking to Sean David Morton. It's my first time talking to him, and I thanked him for putting his neck out there and talking about the things that, during his investigations, revealing information with extraterrestrials and really getting the ball rolling. But of course, he took a lot of hits for that. And he was critiqued, and he's a highly intelligent person, has a journalistic background, and probably has a number of traits in education that I'm not aware of. I do know that he's an accomplished writer and has written some books that sound absolutely fascinating. I really would like to get in there and read some of his books. And I know that, JP, you read his books out loud, haven't you?
No, what I did, I read, I proofread...
Sands of Time?
Sands of Time. I proofread the third book that is just being released. That's what... he wrote the first book, the first two, it was originally one book, but, he printed it in such tiny letters and really dense pages that it really should have been like a couple of books, because it was pretty thick. But it's exciting, so you read it really quickly. So I got this very bright light, and I bought an extra pair of reading glasses, and 2 pairs of glasses at the same time to read this thing. But I didn't read it out. No, Sean's doing that. But there is a section in this latest one, which is reading. I read out a report by an MI5 reporter about the Hans Kohler device. So there's like I'm in the book as an addendum with a British voice, you see. So that all works out.
Nice, very nice. Well, you are a part of it. You're his friend, and he's on the network, and that's another addition to being a part of the network. Is it Ever Beyond? It's Ever Beyond, right? Or is he on? He's on Wolf Spirit.
Well, I mean, I play him on my Ever Beyond station, which comes on Wolf Spirit on Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I'll be, and I produce him on Monday and Thursday, just to confuse everybody. I'll be on tonight. So, I got these two shifts. I got 3 shifts a week. I got the Sunday one, the Monday one, and the Thursday one. And so this shift starts with you, and then tonight we've got a round table, and then, there's Sean's show, and then we have Sherry Edwards, and then we have Stephen Kelly. So there's a whole bunch of very interesting people all talking tonight. And it was amazing last night. Don't you think it was amazing? Last night it was like all Pleiadians all night. Every show, even though we didn't plan it, every show had the sort of, the Pleiadians this and da-da-da-da.
Billy Meyer.
Yeah, Billy Meyer and all that.
Because they've done so much, and without permission, they've done a lot of stuff. And they interface with the human, just like any group. You're not supposed to interfere and create these ripples in humanity, and the Pleiadians have done that quite a bit. And they're not getting off the hook. They've done that quite a bit, and they're not supposed to do that just like any other group. You have to be responsible for interfering, just like the Sirius group did with Egypt, and they're just, some repercussions. So anyhow, that creates some confusion. But and who was there? And Sean David Morton was there to really get all the facts and information of what transpired there.
Yeah, it was a very highly dense download. Because Sean, he's really easy to set up. I know him. I've been producing him for over 2 years now, I think. It's like a monorail of genius, but it's so easily put off. You can easily derail that. But if you get him on the rail, it'll gradually build up to about 250 miles an hour. If there's no interruptions, and he's just a download after that. He's just like free flowing, and it's really telepathically demonstrating the whole picture there. And it's I like to get him in that state. Do you know what it's like? I just thought, oh, that's how they got the Vril going. Then
he started talking about the Vril.
Yeah, and the Vril, and so he's had an approach. And I think, I can talk about it because he's mentioned it on there. He's had approach from a gentleman who is going to basically create a TV series. He's quite a famous producer, and he has heard about this stuff, and he says, "Oh wow, we've really got to make how come nobody's made number one? How come nobody's made a movie about this or a TV series about this? How it's the greatest story that you've never heard of, and it's really got to be told. And it's like you, Sean, and myself are right in the middle of the deepest research of it, and it's just like we're perfectly placed for it. So, and the other thing is, now a couple of years ago, when I first received the copy of Sands of Time, and I only just met Sean and done a couple of shows, and he said, this is my book. And I had a conversation with my spirit guides about that. And I said, is this true? He said, yeah. Not only did they say, yeah, it's true, he said, but you may potentially be part of the outcome of it or affect the outcome of it. And I thought, what the heck are they talking about? And here I am. I'm helping him rewrite the end because of the grammar of this and, proofreading it and doing these little things. And he's saying, he wants me to be, he wants me to play Hans Kammler. The Obergruppenführer!
But weren't you, we figured out who you were from that lifetime. We got your name, didn't we?
What was his name?
That's up to you whether you want to share it or not, but.
Yeah, maybe I won't say the name, but the first name was Carl. And, I don't know, Carlsberg, probably the best, yeah. But anyway.
Very, very, very specific when it was told to you.
Yeah.
I told Sean that I was Sigrun, and I remember being Sigrun. We figured it out, and I have had memories that have cropped up from being around that time and feeling also that I was in this whirlwind of a situation that I didn't know how to get out of. And I know who some of the other really are. And one of them actually told me how they disposed of me. I'll say it like that.
The ignominious ending.
Yeah, either I was ready to speak or something that they didn't like, and she watched me plummet into what looked like a vortex of some sort. So, and it's funny because I didn't tell anybody. She knew it, she remembered. That's how I knew that she was authentic, she was the real thing. So, yeah, and I told him if he wants to know what we know, it would definitely add to the story. Why not have the history behind it, the stories behind it, rather than, because it was such a mysterious time and people didn't know what was going on, but we remember some of it.
Wouldn't it be fantastic if the TV, say there was a TV series and it would start in the, 1918. And there would be Adolf limping around because of his war injury. He was shot in the testicle. The rumors were true, and he was ridiculed for crying and screaming all night. And that's one of the bricks in the wall that created the Adolf that we know and don't love very well. So they're saying it. JP and his admitted not so good German accent going to be Hans Kammler. I don't have to be really good, anyway, but so.
Believe me, I don't think it would take you long to master it. You have a good ear for linguistics and accents, and I'm sure that you'll pick it up.
Yeah, I just need to hear the sound a little while, and it comes in. You just need a little framework of how the accent goes. The rhythm of the words is the main thing. The accent is rhythm. Like if I speak like this is different if I speak like this. You see, it's different. Texture. Meanwhile.
Inflection, I think they call it.
Inflection. Yes. Inflections and, so where were we?
Meanwhile,
I wanted to emphasize before we go into the transmissions that we're doing this council, and it's going to start off with me, you, JP, and Viking. And Viking has had a heart cry for, there's something going on where he feels that there needs to be this, it's called the Interstellar Council, and it's going to be done once a month. If, that's how the universe will honor that or direct us to do so. And we're going to be touching on different topics. So we're veering a little bit away from, I'm going to continue doing the Andronicus transmissions, but this will be over and above it. And so there may be other conversations and other group representatives of different star systems that may join us, or probably will join us, and express, what they're feeling and what's going on. So it's called the Interstellar Council. It will happen directly after the show today. And so if you want to hang in there and listen in, and here again, be a part of it, communicate with us, and stay in the chat room. So I think unless you have anything else to say about that, JP.
Well, so it's I suppose, are we going to invite callers to call in, or to people to join?
Questions.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Maybe in the chat room for now, and yeah.
Yep, we'll play it by ear, as we always will.
Yeah.
Because we need, everybody needs to get really spontaneous. Basically, you have to be ultra flexible, because otherwise you're going to tear yourself apart from it. Things are going to change from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment, and you think, when is it ever going to stop? And it just won't. So we just have to, we just get to the idea that things are not so permanent anymore, and that can be really hopeful. And the other hopefulness is that not only are they not permanent, but you can create new ones that are going to be permanent. And you do that with your desire and will and intent, and we've been training for this. This is what all the meditations you've been doing until now, if you have been doing meditations, all these creative visualizations, all these manifestations that we've been doing over the last 20, 30 years, learning, bit by bit how to do this. Now is the moment to kick it all in, because you can see the whole world is going to fall apart. And either we create it or we have it created for us. So now's the time to create it. And we know what we don't want. So write a list of all the things you don't want, and then negate them all and say, this is what I do want, and picture those and make them happen. Do something every day to make all those lists happen. Yeah.
But you said that the world's falling apart, not necessarily falling apart, and I know what you meant, is more like a disassembling. And because the old system's breaking down, and that doesn't mean that we collapse. It gives us an opportunity to create a new groundwork and work our way up. And so everything begins with a spiritual foundation, and you're learning that from even Kraton, who said that there's a depth within the depth within the depth of how things are created in the universe. And so it starts with the intention and prayer. And it's interesting because Rhodan addresses that today, is having a universal agreement to make a change, and it will bring about the change. So,
well, there you go. That's what I just said.
Everything's right on key. Yeah, just like you said. As you usually do, JP. You bring it up before we say it.
Oh dear, I always second guess these guys, don't I?
You do.
Can't help it.
And they love you, and they're okay because they know that it's part of human nature to question these things.
And I have to say, they all call me Primus. Well, one of our listeners sent me a message earlier on and a picture of this cute little orange kitty who says this is my new kitty, and he's called Primus. So there we go, little Primus. Huh.
He was tucked in a little blanket and a pillow.
Yeah.
That was very shaped. Yeah. Just surrounded by love.
Oh. Yeah, so there's a lot of love abounding today, isn't there, Jess?
Yes, there is, but there's a lot of little stuff that's happening here in the transmission. So anyhow, that's it doesn't feel very. Yes, we should get started, but it's not going to be as warm and fuzzy as the little kitty is. So sorry about that, but I have to transmit the information that I'm getting. So,
where are we starting?
We are starting with Rhodan because that's who you mentioned first.
Okay, all right. Hang on, let me just have to pull it out.
Is that the lightning bolt?
Yeah. I was just getting the transmission up. All right, here we go. Oh, time is ticking.
Rhodan.
Well. Yes, Rhodan's. Here we go. Where are we? There we go. Time is ticking away. The hourglass is nearing its time of completion, and we are about to turn it to a new phase, an open door of time. Those who have tampered with time will find that they have become a slave to time. Doesn't matter where they go, it will be chained to them as a heavy weight. I'm glad to see that you and your loved ones have not partaken of this crime. I warned many about time travel without permission. Though some may say that the door was open, why not step in? I say that the door was opened by rebels to seduce you to step in. Of course, all of the dynamics of how it happened will be properly and fairly accessed. I know that even children are lured into the gateways without knowing the consequences. It is marked and labelled where they appeared. Some got away with great atrocities and went beyond heights and measures to fame, such as Arten. The cost for that is exponential. We have given a select few permission to travel the timelines. Some have been allowed to speak about their journeys as a subtle warning regarding potential time. This has always been allowed. For those who are able to peer into the future without entering physically and disrupting the links and chains of sequences, then they are able to share openly to others what they have seen because it is divinely allowed to do so. Keep in mind with each and every gift there is much responsibility. For those who use their gifts to deceive and create fear and deception will be cut off from all divine communication. Those who accurately portray what has been shared can be cut off at any moment if a violation occurs, despite a long history of devotion and committed work. Ultimately, for any reason, intention to deceive others is not allowed in this arena and will be exposed one way or another. Now, for those who share their insights and help to avert traumatic occurrences or destructions of larger populations and even smaller populations, they are gifted above all seers. Keep humble. Many of you can be replaced in your role, but you have given your life commitment to help others, and so be it. Allow this gift to flourish and help those around you. The people with extrasensory perception have been brought here at this time to assist others. Those who seem to have these gifts but have negative intentions are not from us. They are using other species of the underworld to gather souls. Choose wisely and ask to have all this revealed and exposed. Your prayers will be heard and we will cut them off from the beasts and they will not be able to use the gift freely. Now, the gatekeepers of the other dimensions will be closed to many. We did not open to them all. We did not open them to all, as some may have thought. Other dimensional travel through physical vehicles will be observed. Many of the portals are now closing, as we have been clearing the off-world invaders from your planet. Much has been done and much more will occur. Regarding my primary messages, Viking is correct. I will continue to repeat the same messages until you absorb and understand freely the intention from whence it came. Our messages are simple and concise. You are intelligent species and capable of much more complex tasks and abilities than you could imagine. However, we must lay the groundwork and basis of this process so you can climb the next rung of the ladder. This is not an easy task, but can be quite gratifying when achieved. The clutter, the array of milieu, the frenzied streets and disruptions of aberrations are all as a result of intruders and disrupting timelines. Can we come to an agreement to not destroy your own home or planet if at all possible? Furthermore, if you do not like the way things are being done, then gather a collective to address and an effort to reform this specific issue. Try not to go after too many things at once. Focus on one change at a time. With one change, much can happen and trickle down to various vibrational sounds that eliminate the unearthly tones of disruptions. See the great masters and how they work to make change. Your dreamers, your freedom warriors, your peacemakers, your equal rights advocates, this happens in every dynamic of evolved species. They take the effort to discuss and craft their society like a finely cut gemstone or carefully woven tapestry. You are the masters of your own world, but must be gracious enough to share the planet with a multitude of many masters. Think about how wondrous all of this is. With much love, Rhodan. How very Rhodan. Nice, really sharp, really, the energy was so crystal clear, wasn't it? It was,
Yeah.
you know how people are nice and they're kind of fuzzy and they let things go, and then there comes a point when beyond the line of the boundary you have crossed and they get cut glass about things. That was the tone, that was the energy that I was feeling. It was like, I'm gonna lay it out really, really plainly. Like,
Yeah.
If you've not got it yet, get this one.
He's a straight shooter. He just says what, it's better that people are not confused. That they know clearly what he had to say. And so that's what I'm seeing as a consistent with him. The others will kind of hide and they'll duck and they'll dodge and Rhodan never does that. He's very, very specific and straightforward. And, but I always feel there's a benevolence in him. If the word justice is, I feel like the word justice, balance, and, very, very succinct. Like there's no, like you said, there's no gray area where you're wondering what he was trying to say. Sometimes he'll kind of hint and say, I can't talk about this, but it's not for deception. It is more of a protection. I feel always nurturing something behind his harsh words, like a grandmother, warning the grandchild about roaming around in the street. It's just very direct and kind of has a slight severity to it, but yet I felt like it, it's still coming from a good place.
Oh yeah, there's a difference between, being just and being judgmental. Just implies that he's fair about things. That he's not, and what that means is that he's not going to throw his ego at you, which is what all the other buggers do.
Yeah.
All right? 'Cause that's what they do, that's why they're such, why we call them a-holes. And because and they're learning. So he's very, avuncular, grandfather, grandparently, giving somebody enough rope to, make their own mistakes but not kill themselves,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's, I like him. Honestly, I like him. I know that if I really need to know something, I need to hear the truth of it, and he's gonna let me know, and whether I like it or not, but at least I'll know where I stand.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But yeah, and I think he brings us back to that grounding point,
Yeah.
And the others, getting now into the others.
Yeah. Right, hang on a second. So the others, indeed, yes. Who should we start with?
Oh, what's that sound? Like a water dripping.
Oh, that's my mobile phone. I've got something is going on with my mobile phone. So it's I don't know is it coming across the mic?
Yeah, I heard it.
Hang on. Over there you go. Hopefully it's, I think that's far enough away. I got this new mobile and it's got this tiny screen and the letters, when you press you push your finger onto the end of the letter, it's usually one of the other four around it instead of the one that you wanted. I'm not very happy with it. It's not very good to type on. Cause, I spend about 3 hours trying to do one text because I have to keep, every time you hit one character, it then deletes it. It's a mess. Anyway, please, Jessica, bring us back.
We need to talk to Borkum because the conversation last night brought me into a conversation with him. And you know why.
Right. Okay. Maybe I do. Okay. Here we go. You finally found me. It is me observing down upon you the whole time. How could you not see it was me? I kept hearing someone asking for my help, and you know who I am, about a damsel in distress. She called me her sister, but she was really my lover.
Are you talking about Sumiyase? So it is true. You were her supposed brother Quetzal? I figured it out last night when I heard the Billy Myers story talked about. I know you were Quetzalcoatl. It all made sense. So you've been assisting Sumiyase's bad behavior on the planet.
What is happening here? What is happening here? It feels as if the entire space is spinning. How? Where am I?
Borkum stood in front of Rhodan with a great council before him.
I see you have been tampering with the fate of humanity through the abandoned women of Cyrus. They were abandoned because their hearts were wicked and black as the night without stars. They pull loose from humanity to retain their vibrancy and appearance of beauty. They search long and hard to embrace the Sananda into their web of control. He tricked them numerous times, but he has grown weary of them and their repeated charms and deceptions. I have heard that you have assisted this process. They need my help! They were beautiful to look on, and I wasn't aware that they were not the victims, but rather harming others. I was in stasis, and Ares awakened me. I don't know why I was played as the fool. I thought we'd send you to your homeland, Imogen, as you requested. Why are you here meddling in my matters?
Then Rhodan sent him to the blue room where he was turned upside down, as he did to Andronicus.
Wow! I'm cutting you off for good. Now you can embrace the wicked daughters of Cyrus as you will. They, as well as you, will no longer have influence on any kingdom. You have forfeited the right to be in charge of many when you are incapable of being in charge or responsible for yourself. I've cut you off for good. You will no longer be my emissary. You have not only abused your power, but usurped your will upon my people, my planets, my kingdom. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Borkum, upside down in the blue room, slowly sinking into the blue matter, became helpless and confused. Worried, horrified by the vision of his end, he apologized with such great sorrow and shame, thoughts racing through his head about how he sold his power, fame, and wealth for a luring woman who gave him nothing, just seduction, no love, a barren, vacant love, and at that moment he loathed them more than anything else. Then he dropped them, and the upliftment he gave them vanished. I watched them fall to the foundation floor. There awaited Kraton, who took them in and chained them to the core, where the fire of heat burned hot as a blue flame.
That was the first thing you did, right? You stopped assisting the wrong. What is the second thing you will do to set my graces right with you? I will let go of your lightning bolt and hand it back to you.
Borkum reached into his pocket and dispelled a mighty boom that shook the heavens and released all the dark ones who hid amongst the angels in disguise. Each one did wicked deeds to appear as if they came from the high places and the lofty angels. Then they dropped into the foundations where they were received by Kraton. He then went on to arrange the fiery place where all could be in one solitary room without a door, without a window to pass through. All the dark beings and the daughters of Cyrus would have no other place to go.
I'm now alone with no one to assist me. You gave me the Vinkala to befriend them, and then they created problems to destroy the planet. So you had me mislead them into the future and into the past, where they became as dinosaurs and simple-minded beasts. Now, you had me connect to the grey ones, the dark beings of the universe, and you just cut them free of me. You had me doing the work of a dog, the black dog as Anubis, and I became the king of the black hell dogs. What further humiliation and ingratitude have I met from you? What depth of self-loathing must I encounter from you? You had chosen the darkness. It was your essence to carry it forth. This is not the reason why I am adverse to you. I have others who I know who carry this darkness with a contrast. Such is true for Kraton. But he does not violate our space, but rather assist the separation of contrasting species and experiences. My problem with you is that you have openly interfered with my will upon the planet and have attacked my children and innocent ones upon the earth through the hell daughters of Cyrus. This is something I cannot forgive. It would have been more enjoyable for you to reap the rebellion, but rather you gain nothing other than the approval of these harpies. What do you have to say now? I'm a fool amongst fools. What a heavy burden I bear now. Do I have options moving forward? You always have options while you're above the foundations. Beneath the foundations, your voice is no longer heard. I would like to make amends with you, Rhodan. I did not do this to solely rebel you. I was seduced. Yes, you were. That wickedness has now been removed from above the foundations, finally. It has no value below. You held in place for far too long. Now, to make amends, you owe Suma your help. You owe Suma your help to help the planet, and Primus as amongst others. In addition, you will assist in the rebuild of a new civilization. I am also expecting that you will reform or remove the remaining Vinkala. And furthermore...
The door closed, and I could no longer hear what was being said.
Oh, sorry, hang on. Because there was Rhodan in that. I thought, oh god.
Yeah, it was a little bit both, wasn't it?
I hope I get a kind of character separation going. Because it's hard to do it. There was one last week. I had 3 characters to do all at the same time. That was quite fun. I had the microphone and always that. But I kind of back off and talk big for Rhodan and for Borkum and really close microphone. Anyhow. So that was, again, Borkum. He got what he deserves, though,
I couldn't believe it. I was just like, are you serious? What have you been doing? And he was just like, anything that they asked him for didn't matter. He was saying yes. He was protecting them so that no one could, make them responsible for what they were doing. Then they had to deal with him. And so, I was like, I watched the whole thing, and I'm like, I can't believe this, Bork. No wonder why he was always saying, what's Sumer doing there? He was always, you remember? He'd bring that up repeatedly, And I was like, well, what is his problem? I didn't understand. I mean, each one has a problem, and then eventually it's revealed to me what the problem is. And the problem is that, this whole group of women, they call them the daughters of Cyrus. Now, I'm not sure who Cyrus is.
Yeah, you're spelling it Ciras as well, not Sirus.
And then with the U.S. too. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know who they were, but that's what Rhodan was calling them. So it must be something that preceded the time, and then also referring to them as harpies. But then also, so whoever was Cyrus.
Well, wasn't there a Darius and a Cyrus? These are Babylonian kings, am I right? Or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah? And one of them, Darius, was like an immortal or something, or a giant. He had some otherworldly characteristic. I'm sure in the chat room when they hear this, somebody will say, there was like someone called King Darius. My history is so crap. I'm sorry, I didn't read enough when I was a kid. I should have read less Superman and more classics.
Yeah. Well, there was, I believe there was, during the time of Babylon and that whole Persia. There was Cyrus, there was Darius, but I'm not even sure if he's referring to that Cyrus.
Yeah.
And I misspelled it. I think I misspelled it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I wrote it just like, as I was taking in the transmission. But, what he was saying is, and so this is the whole Semyasi thing. When I heard that Quetzal was him, Quetzal was supposedly, according to Billy Myers, the brother, and Quetzalcoatl, I believe, was Borkum, and then I put 2 and 2 together, and then I looked in that place, and then everything just kind of opened up. And
so can you explain, can you kind of go back to the beginning of the series of thoughts that you had that joined that zipped this whole thing back together for you?
Let's go. We'll go all the way back to the beginning. You mean beginning of the transmission?
Well, in terms of you have this emerging awareness, this growing awareness of these 2 areas that seem to be completely separate, suddenly coming together.
Yeah, it's almost like someone just turns the light on, and hold on a second.
And yes, well.
I keep hearing someone mowing the lawn outside.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we can hear. But it's lovely. It's lovely. Lovely to hear the birds and stuff out there. It's lovely.
Yeah,
it's broadcasting from the Garden of Eden.
Kind of late in the day to be
all right.
On.
Hey, urgent message in from Captain Max Steele in the chat room.
Yeah.
Tyrek will contact you soon. He is from the Booties constellation. He is a warrior from the Tylene planet. So Tyrek from Tylene, from Booties. Booties is a constellation.
So supposedly that's the other place where Semyasi's from. Isn't that what they said last night?
All right. Well, there's this parallel universe thing that I've never quite understood.
probably don't like it that I'm talking about them right now, and so send him to me. I don't really care. He can go to Rhodan, and it's not my problem.
Yeah.
All I know is that they have been coming after me for a while, and I've actually had others bring it up that Semyasi and her family has been coming after. So if anyone does come after me after this, I'm going to know it's not them. I'm going to know it's someone else. Mm-hmm. So let Tyrek talk to Rhodan, because Rhodan and Kraton.
Yep.
And they can duke it out.
That's their domain. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I clearly they were trying to disrupt me, not because I've done anything wrong, but I'm here specifically to help others. And I'm not, if you listen to a lot of the transmissions and information from Peter Berger, Peter said, was trying to reveal some of the stuff that Semyasi has been doing. And she, there's a long record and trail of her activities on the planet.
Trail of destruction and mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's your classic female Bond villain, E.T. thing.
Yeah. Supposedly, according to him, in one of his interviews with James Rink, he said that she would have her lovers and then eat them afterwards. So, that's not a happy person.
Yeah, that's somebody who's like got some needs some counseling. Yeah, maybe some counseling.
Yeah. Well, she's counseling now with Kraton, and so if they want to find her, that's where they'll have to go.
Nice and cozy.
She can't be upheld by the others that were trying to protect her, and that goes for everyone. I mean, eventually, there are those that are going to protect the wrong, and they're going to find out that they're going to have to be responsible for that, and everyone's responsible for their actions. So, yeah. So this came out, I mean, as we were talking last night, I started putting two and two together, and what Borkum said is he is not her brother, but he was her lover. Although, in some of these ancient groups, just like in the ancient Egyptian time,
they don't bloody care. They'll just put it anywhere. they don't care.
So related, they want them because then they feel like they're one of the same, right? They're of royal blood or whatever. So it's whatever,
It's all in the family. They like to keep it in the family.
I think the big deal is interfering with humanity.
Yeah.
That's the big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that they were supposed to do what they did with Billy Myers. And especially if they were looking for Christ or for Sananda, Jesus, whatever you want to call him. If they were looking for him, then, he didn't have to hide from them. Why would he be hiding, or why would he be there and not really know what was going on and all this other stuff, or forgetting who he was there? I mean, come on. I don't think so. I know that Billy Myers was someone, but I'm not convinced that he was Sananda. Unless someone else wants to disagree with me, they can. That's freedom of choice or opinion, but
well, you can fluff up somebody's ego a little bit by saying they were this and they were that. And, that one that feels, I feel comfortable with that one, and I feel comfortable with that one. And then you can slip in another one that is like really outrageous. It's like, really? Yeah, really? Oh, wow. And that's where they get, you get the ego traps. It's like, I was this, and I will rule over my land once again.
Well, like Sean said, clearly she was looking for someone important. She's not just looking for a regular human, because a lot of these beings are power hungry. They want to see how they can extract more power or have more allies. And what would they do with a human unless, use them for something, I guess. But so I'm sure that Billy was someone. I'm not convinced that he was Sananda. But, or maybe he was. I don't know.
It was very interesting, what Sean was saying about that. I didn't know his Indian history. That in India he was known as the UFO man or something, and they used to throw things at him or something, and eventually they threw him out. Or
he created chaos when he went there. That doesn't sound like Sananda to me. Sananda would not attract chaos.
No.
Sananda would attract love.
Yeah, you'd think, eh?
Right? I mean, so everywhere he went, it would have been a beautiful experience. And so whoever this was, I don't know, someone that has a star connection. And she was searching for that power, and it's funny because she took him and then brought him back into the time of Christ, right? In the story, you've heard the Billy Myers story, right?
All right, yeah, but tell nutshell it for the audience, Jess.
Okay, so she brings him back in time to show him himself during that time, and how he's there with some of his followers, and then this other female then shows up, who's probably another group, part of her group, or maybe it was her sister Samara, with another Sekhmet or whatever her name was. I don't have her name correct, and forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, but yeah, she came and she arrived and then kind of took over Billy from there. And then there was, this amorous thing that they're having with him, and they go through all these great lengths, and they give him pictures of ETs, and which is fine. It kind of validates that there are ETs here, and that brings in some historical stuff. And Sean had a very interesting, a very powerful experience in revealing some of this information and detailed images of spacecrafts, and of course a picture of Semyasek. But does that because she did that, does that make her benevolent? No, I don't think so. And I've actually had threats from her in the past, and through others who have told me about it. And so all I did was present the story before Rhodan, and then Rhodan took it from there. So it's out of my hands, and this is not. This is matters of the stars. This is not matters of humanity. So there's no reason for anyone to be frightened. They're on another plane of responsibility because they know so much more and better, and their bad behavior should not, is held more accountable because they're not in a stage of innocence.
Indeed. So, should we take a little break?
Yeah, and we had that fun song that was from, who was it? I sent you the music.
Oh, did you?
That actually Max sent to me.
Max sent to you.
Yeah, it was the someone from the station, the man singing the blues.
Oh, Harrison Kennedy. Let me just find that. And was it the Hound song?
It's the Hound and the Rabbit, chasing the rabbit.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can just get that while I have a large list here, and I'm sure it's on here somewhere because I haven't changed it.
So what's the story behind this? So, whose relative is this?
Oh yeah, so Tracy Kennedy, who runs the show that is in the slot just before you, in Trace Elements, that's her show. Tracy Kennedy is daughter of Harrison Kennedy. Harrison Kennedy was one of the members of the 1970s funk soul band, The Chairman of the Board, and so many years later, he's very well known in the blues group as a blues player and singer. And I still can't find it. Hang on, let me just go. I know where I can get it.
Maybe we can get it later. We'll pick it up later and just put on whatever you feel like you want to put on for music right now. and we'll pick it up another time. But Tracy's show is she's on Wolf Spirit or Ever Beyond?
Well, she's on actually Revolution Radio.
Revolution Radio.
Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 till 11 9 till 11 a.m. Pacific.
Okay.
So that's yeah, and she's broadcasting out of where is she broadcasting out of? Down in Guelph, Ontario. Sorry, I'm trying to read and think and talk at the same time, which is not a good idea because everything suffers. I can't read, and I'm speaking just absolute. There we go. I found it. Hey,
you found it.
Yay! Here's Harrison Kennedy.
Thank you for joining us, and I'm just looking at the chat room. Everyone's enjoying that music. It's Zydeco, all right. It's pretty good. Taps foot and slaps the knee. All the whole spoon thing. It's very classic. I love that stuff. I love people that just make music out of nothing. Out of instruments that aren't even instruments. That's fun. It's talent, and it's just coming straight from the heart. Anyhow, so we got on to a hot topic there a little bit, and I know there's some comments in the chat room. I haven't gotten a chance to look through all of them, but anyhow, we're gonna finish, keep going with the transmissions. So in response now, then we had Kraton who came in. I think that's the next one that we're going to bring in.
Okay, there's something behind you. It's creeping up on you and it's making this sound.
Yeah. And I even have the windows closed.
Oh, really? Go on.
That's how loud. So someone decided to do an enormous amount of garden work today.
Is that a strimmer? You call him a weed whacker. Weed whacker.
It might be a weed, it might be a weed whacker, or I think some people like to play with their tools.
Summer, the sun comes out, there's electricity, I'll plug it in.
There's a lot. The wife, they're arguing with their wife or something, so what's the best thing to do is just put on some power tools and
make some noise.
And kind of break and tear things up and cut down limbs and
It's very good. It's very good for chopping wood, I have to say. A good argument is really good. It gives you the energy to chop some wood and keep your family warm.
Yeah, it's a good release. I mean, it's a healthy way. Everyone gets frustrated about different things, especially, the heat has ramped up a little bit around here, and when it gets hot, typically, we get pretty cold in the winter, or it can be rainy, and then it jumps right into summer. It's like we've not been having fall and spring as much, and it seems to go from one extreme to the other. And one day it might be 30, and another day then it goes into 70 at some point during the spring. And so people around here, they might like the heat, but then they also act a little. Boston's known for their aggression. And there's definitely some aggression here. But, he could have just be doing the yard work, but, also.
Oh well. So from within this psychic atmosphere, out pops the lotus leaf or the lotus flower of, the latest transmissions. Who have we got next?
Oh, it's Kraton.
Kraton. So hang on, where's your thing? I click this. Up comes Microsoft. Come on, no. Can't take that long. There we go. Alright, Kraton. He's got a slight echo, hasn't he?
Yes.
Let's try an echo number 0. And I think, yes, he was one of these, wasn't he? He was this one. What have we here? A few damsels in distress. I guess your labor has paid off and you have finally arrived at your desired destination. You have achieved the status of being blacker than black. Very good. Your ambitious nature helped you to arrive.
Then another female dropped down from California.
Oh, I see you have arrived to join us, daughters of Cyrus. I see you have some accomplices.
A multitude came down and settled into the room, and the room began to fill up until there was standing room only.
I hope you enjoy your stay here.
What is going on here? Are they all your prisoners?
Yes, forever, or as long as I allow them to exist. They have proven that there wasn't even a spark of light left in them. Therefore, they no longer have a purpose, or at least any purpose that I can see. They only contribute to the devouring of the black holes and will be sucked in by one if I had not taken them.
What is the difference about you taking them? Isn't it tedious to do this?
Oh, not at all. This way I can see all their acts and deeds to see who has been tampering with my foundations and dimensions. They had to in order to carry my dark energy. I did not give them permission, so they become my prisoner. If I gave them permission or asked them to assist me, they would be different in composition. I thought this process of allowing others to take at their will with repercussions attached. No. I thought of this process of allowing others to take at their will with repercussions attached. It was one way to collect and harness dark matter. However, I discovered that they were not introducing new dark matter, but recycling the old as a further attempt to deceive me. When will they learn they cannot outwit me? Of course, you realize that these are just their pawns. The upper dimensions carry the puppeteers or the puppet masters up above. There are many. I'm taking those who I find and then gathering the data to find the puppet masters above. As soon as I connect to their uplink, I can create an implosion that destroys them completely without raising one finger or departing from my space. This is what they would like me to do. Depart from my space and leave the doors open for them to change everything. Ultimately, I will discover how Zoroaster discovered access to my space. Each one has a piece of the puzzle. You should be moving along now. You ask too many questions. Keep on your path. You are doing well and confusing those who would not desire you to thrive. You have my protection. Keep sending the Dark Ones to me.
I will do so.
Kraton. Welcome back.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of severe today, but,
yeah, it's like Day of Judgment. This is the whole Day of Judgment. And it's not what we thought it was.
No, it's really not over everyone. It's just over this, I think what they're showing is that the ETs or the visitors or whatever, that they are held accountable. It's not, the rules are just not for us, the humans. I mean, that they're held accountable as well. So, going on to sort of a lighter note, I thought we could bring in, Tektatron.
Okay.
I thought he was gone. And
you got rid of him. Okay, so luckily today I've made the, because I did this jingle and it was really quiet, and so nobody ever heard it. So I've made it I've increased its volume now. So
okay.
And let me just don the appropriate helmet.
Hello. Yeah. All right now. So listen to my new jingle. Check this.
I see you have been reset or revived. What do you want from me now?
You thought you were rid of me. I am still here, and many others are still here.
But you are clones or archons. They have created you, and you're just a program.
That is where you are wrong, Shikiran. I watched you talk to this one and that one. You cannot have Adrian. He belongs to us.
Then he is not the real Ares, if he agrees to that. He must be an Archon as well. Why is he lying on the floor? Did you knock him out or harm him?
No, he is just relaxing.
He's moaning. What have you done?
Oh, nothing. He must be sorrowful how I stole his ship from him.
Oh, you did?
Yes. And I would steal yours from you as well if you had one. So tell me, how is your game these days? I see that I am winning.
You haven't won anything other than Adrian. You're still at square one. More in the tick rather than the tac-toe.
I hate when you are right. Very well. Adrian, wake up now. We have a guest.
Oh, my head hurts. What did you do to hit? Yeah, what did you do? Hit me over the head with a metal pole?
It's the only way you will listen to me. Now the others are coming. Can you send your friend away? She is tiresome and insists on interfering with my fun. She doesn't play fairly as well. I wouldn't recommend that you play any game with her. I find her tedious and tiresome.
Who is it? What friend? Oh, Afron, what are you doing here?
Do you know this creature? From what sector?
From Pleiades and Sector 438. I met her there long ago.
I see. She has a pedigree. I should have known the blood of the nobles, but I still find her quite annoying. Tell me, Afron, are you adhering to the dragons these days? I see the dragons round about.
Yes, what of it?
The Trojan War? Rings a bell? Do you remember me? I was quite valiant as Hector.
I know about Hector, but you seem different from then.
Well, they changed me from bottom up and head to toe. I was crushed a bit and spat out, so they say.
By Achilles?
Ha! Achilles. That worthless worm had no power over me. They lied. I never fell to him. It was their way of hiding the truth of it all.
Are you saying the Trojan War didn't happen?
Not as they told the story. The Greeks had always desired to make themselves appear grandiose. I formed an alliance that changed their destiny. I was a hero. I saved the people of Troy, and I also took Helen from Greece and from my brother Paris. You won't see that information in the history books. It was me, the great warrior, who took down Achilles. That is the reason why they lied about me. They didn't want to lose faith that I destroyed him fair and square. I suppose that's one of the reasons why I like to win. I'm not an Archon. I am merely rebuilt and hidden to attain my right amongst the others. I too am from a lineage, and it was you who gave Helen her beauty. I was angry at you for a very long time, because she was also a shell of a female. We forfeited so much, and I lost my beloved brother over it.
I agree. It was wrong to change her, as it created such an upheaval, and both civilizations suffered for it. And I'm truly sorry.
I will remove your curse and the Helena Archons from you. Unfortunately, you will have to go to Achilles, because he had cursed you as well. Be on your way now. You are free of me.
But wait, Tektatron. You still didn't have a right to do what you did, and you were also being observed. It's good for you to know that. I will go later on you if you tell me where to find Achilles.
He is hid for now. He is hid for now. Someone keeps sucking up the souls of our kin. See below. They have something coming. Beware the foul vacuum. I shall smite thee with my mighty sword.
Okay, I will leave before you blow a gasket. Listen, where is Adrian? It looks like he left again.
He's on the wing again. I told him I can't jump this high. I need to go now.
Ta-da-dum.
Yep.
Tektatron. Crazy man. Crazy being, crazy robot thing. Is he an Arcturan? I mean, you remember Sean was talking about these Arcturans, sort of.
Yeah! Oh my god, yeah, because he's like metal looking. Yeah. I've seen him metal, and then I saw him that one time wearing that weird jacket.
Weird jacket. What, a robot in a jacket?
He looked humanoid, but he was wearing like this weird like jacket with like this shoulder, like big huge shoulders, and then it kind of curled up on the shoulders, like some kind of scrolling something coming up from the shoulders and wrapping around.
I can't wait for the TV series.
That's weird. It was like purple, and he was like, purple's my favorite color.
Yeah.
I don't, it was long too. It went down like below his knees, and it was just strange. And I was like, well, why are you wearing that jacket? Because it looked out of place. You know, when
someone steampunky. I get the sort of steampunk feeling.
It could have been, but it was kind of vibrant, almost like something someone would wear if they were going on stage and performing. I mean, sometimes I wonder about these things, these beings that have their double lives. You know, they're, you know, one place that they're on the spacecraft, and then, you know, on another place they're performing on stage at you know, some kind of Coliseum or a Palladium or something. You know, maybe in New York City, or who knows? I mean, who knows what they're doing? But the jacket just seems completely out of place.
How bizarre. You got a question from Now O'Clock in the chatter room. She's saying, Jessica, what's the most important information you have channeled, please? It's hard to say.
Oh.
You never know what's important until maybe years later.
Yeah. The most important part, I think, just channeling, knowing that they're there and watching over us, and they're protecting us, even though it doesn't feel like it at times. I think there's nothing worse than having that feeling, that despondent feeling like that no one hears you and your prayers. And I know that many people have come to me, you know, being in that place of despair, trying to figure out who's up there, who's watching over this, who's watching people, crimes happening to innocent people and deceptions of what's happening in governments and all these terrible things. And to me, a lot of Rhodan's messages kind of remind me that there's love there and someone's watching over us. As the others, they also are kind of revealing some different strands of different things, but I think that part, sometimes really touches me and reminds me that some way or another everything's going to be okay in the end. Or even now. Even though it feels like there's chaos around us, somehow we're sustained. So I hope that answers the question. What about you, JP, of the messages that you've heard that have come through so far?
Well, it's interesting. As I said, I don't know if I would know how important each one was until after the whole thing's played its way through. I wouldn't know which is most important. And I don't want to I don't want to go try it and say, well, they're all important, because some of them are more personal than others. Mm-hmm. Some of them are more global. But, you just go to my crown-based transmissions and just leaf through and something will pop out to you. That's the way it works. It's not what's important forever, it's what's important today. And it can be anything. And you can take a piece, you could pick up War and Peace. You could pick up any book. And, open a random page and it'll talk to you. Mm-hmm. Some people say, you can only do that with the Bible, but, it's just anywhere. Anything.
I agree. Vanessa said that, the purple jacket that I was talking about reminded her of a jacket Prince would wear. That Tektatron was wearing that one time.
What do you think? Do you think?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think so? Well, I mean, is that the sort of that Prince type of jacket? Because he was quite steampunky as well, stylishly steampunky.
Absolutely, yeah. That definitely would definitely be there. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't say that it was Prince. He doesn't seem like Prince to me. He definitely hasn't sung or anything like that, but maybe he's making a statement. I should ask him sometime.
Yeah. Maybe one day he'll be a little more friendly about things.
Yeah, I think so too. Are we getting ready for Meetis?
Mm-hmm. I'm just making just tuning up and like. Anyway, yes.
I'm just sort of looking over some of the messages.
Mm-hmm.
Better voice.
Right. So, shall I start off with the... that's rather a long transmission today, isn't it?
Yeah, for... Yep. For Meetis.
So, I've...
it's about 5 pages.
Yeah, I've done Meetis' theme as well. There we go. Oh, I like the picture you drew of me. It's lovely. You make me look charming and jovial. I like that. I'm a happy fellow now, not so bitter and gnarly like an old tree as my counterparts have become. I like being a man. In your world, men are kings. Women never seem to get the chance. Even with female rulers, there are males controlling behind the scenes. You don't like that scenario, do you?
I think there should be an equality, especially in respect. Being kind to one another, But that goes for everything. Females are like the sacred chalice, and when they're broken, the men complain that they no longer can take a drink from them because the chalice no longer holds the energy elixir that once drew them in from before. It is in the depth of the elixir where you find love.
You know so much, but not many can hear you. I have seen many who came to make changes for the races and for the genders, each one holding a torch for this cause. It is an admirable trait to behold. I sense your sorrow in this. The plot of live and live and love's bitter sorrows. The plot of life and love's bitter sorrows. So many couples cast to the side like war-torn rubble.
Well, I look at this as the foundation of humanity. This was supposed to be the foundations of learning, where humans learn in their youth to love themselves, to love their parents, to love their siblings and extended family, to love their communities, to love their neighbors, to love their classmates, to love their nation, to love their world and all races, to love the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, and insect kingdom, to love the depths of the earth, the depths of the water, and the depths of the skies. All of this is from one spark of love between two. One spark of love that gives the combined energy of God's source into one seed of life. And then a child is then born. A beautiful, wondrous child is born. A combined emotion of love, desire, and merging into one drop, the most potent and miraculous drop of love. The truth is that is the elixir of love. It should be guarded and cared for and nurtured, as a couple should guard and care for and nurture themselves as well. This is my wish for all. Am I wrong to feel this way?
No.
As a Pollyanna?
No, it's a grand expression, and the original intention of the mighty ones of old. You still remember the ancient ways. I think about you often while I walk amongst the wild herbs and flowers. You remind me much of this. Unrelenting and appearing despite what mankind does to train the field to do as they will, you burst up in colour in the most unexpected places. Yet, they root it out. It has no power to destroy you. You have a depth in time that very few can change. You have nothing to worry about. It will all go well for you. You are the rose without a thorn. They know who you are. Part of the lineage of England, a part of the lineage of Egypt, and part of the lineage of Sumeria, a part of the lineage of China. If one pulls you out or tries to uproot you, they will inadvertently uproot their own people. You were allowed to come because it is foolproof. None can destroy you ultimately, but you also realize that you must remain neutral and teach them to be kind to one another as your children. At one point I envied your role. Now I am much more grateful to be free of your burdens. I adore you now. I see why they favor you. I see you are here to stop the wars that have been so heartbreaking and traumatic to everyone. I am very weary of them myself. I came here as your judge to prove you are not good. What I discovered is that it was me who was not good at all. I caused many problems thinking I could solve things. I didn't do anything like that on purpose. I did a lot of good as well. Honestly, this has been a journey to remember. Just think, I could have sat in my ivory tower, lavished by elegance, fine food, unlimited music and festivity, indulging on the best of all things. Instead, I ended up as a pauper, dragging my worn feet and parched tongue around the English countryside.
Meetis, I know you had many experiences here that you enjoyed and indulged quite well compared to many.
Yes, well, for me any trouble is drudgery. I can't seem to let go of my silver spoon, my silver tongue and my silver touch. I even chime upon the silver strings of life. The first strings I played upon were the silver threads of life of humans. You know, they have a silver thread upon them. Each one of them has a vibration. I could come down unbeknownst to them and pluck their string like a one-stringed lute. it would vibrate and create a different tone. This is the first imbalance. The second imbalance is when they would fight the vibration, where further miscalculations would occur. Since they were not able to adjust that tone back to normal, they would settle in on a new tone, even though they knew it wasn't right. You can see when I do this to someone. You say they are out of alignment. Not many can see my work.
You're the one who has changed people around me, then, and created this confusion?
I was the one. Not anymore. After today, my judgment against you has been released, and all of your accusers have been sent to Geb, and ultimately before Rhodan. Some may be sent to Kraton. It all happens today.
Why did it take so long for you to make this decision?
I wanted to do it much sooner, but some of them threatened to harm you very badly. I'm glad I was here to prevent that from happening as well. You thought you weren't protected. You were, by me and others. This is not specifically about you. We have been integrating the planet and discovering all types of things. You, for some reason, have been the honey that attracted all of the bees. I kept coming around to see you, and each and every time there would I find the culprit of the problems I was searching for.
Were you looking for me for protection? I hope I wasn't helping their cause.
Never. They think you were an easy target, and then you would drive them crazy, doing them unpredictable things that you do. Many left empty-handed and confused. From there, we would redirect them to where they belonged. Some were programmed to harm you by higher forces who claimed to be benevolent but were anarchists hoping to take over the planet. You handled them swimmingly.
I have felt like someone had put me on a never-ending roller coaster at times, or dragged me through the ringer.
Yes, I can imagine. They were so much more powerful regarding psychic warfare and insight, yet in the end you could neutralize them well without even trying or being aware that was their intention. We make a good team.
Why would you play upon the strings of a soul?
I am allowed to do this if they are in a malicious way. If they have envy, hatred, jealousy, malintent towards those who are good. I didn't do this to people who loved you, but to those who are jealous or envious of you. It's the way of the universe. This is my role. We are ingrained in the existence of all living things, and someone needs to remind them they are not in harmony with Source.
I see, so this is your role from the beginning of time. Not necessarily with me, but with everyone.
Not exactly from the beginning of time. In the beginning of time, or of my existence, none of this existed or occurred. Everyone was in harmony. Shiva could foresee the imbalance happening far before it occurred. Then, at a certain point in time, I was given this role. None can destroy me or prevent my work. I exist as I shall always exist. If humanity and other species learn to be in harmony, then my role will change. It is cause and effect, as you know it. We got rather somber during this conversation. By the way, what is your interest in drinking mead? I watched you do that yesterday, and I never saw you do that before.
I don't know why. I just felt like it was something I needed to do.
It is the elixir of the gods, or similar to it. That is what makes it sacred. The second drink favoured by the gods and most favoured by Bacchus was the wine, the sacred grapes, the rich berries from the sun. It all means something. You've reached the other side. How can this be that you are here and there at one time? You saw the ancients and you thought they were Vikings. Now isn't that interesting? Very well, so let's take a deeper look. Oh, no, they slammed the door on me. I'm no longer able to cross into the past there. What have you done?
I don't know. I saw them and they were happy to see me, that's all I know.
They rejected me but accepted you. Amazing. Well, I don't need them anyhow. I'm going to find Bacchus. He'll indulge me. I guess I can't have everything. Oh, by the way, good work with Mars. I thought he might have blown up the planet had you not spoken to him. He was very angry, you know.
I know. I still think he wants to speak, but when I approach him, he remains very quiet.
Yes, but he has stopped his rage, and you probably owe him something for the trouble.
I know that as well. He's angry at humans for going on his planet without permission. But I explained that they were not aware of the reason for his anger.
I see. Well, this isn't my problem, and I am steering clear of it. I shall find Bacchus today, and be on my way. Tell Primus to look out the window. He's been missing a few signs.
Is that literal or figuratively?
Both. Some of his answers are right under his nose. I've zoomed it out far too far. Right, where is it? Oh, okay. Right now, how's this one go? How's this one go? And I pull out my headphones for you. I've got one of these headphones that has got a plug by the on the cans, so that if you pull the cable, it doesn't break. It just kind of unplugs itself. But that means leaves me without any sound. Lovely flower by the hour, tell Primus he has regained his power. A pill of red and one of black has made his power return from Jack. Yes, Jack was a sharp tool, not bent. He took from Primus what heaven sent. Now on your way, dear brother of mine, for on this planet you shall not fly until your time has now well spent. You shall not be a problem in the upper world's gate. Prometheus rained upon the steed, then prompted you to drink your mead, and so the balance turns just so, and of course, I'm Meetis. I should know. Diddly-doo.
Yeah.
How bizarre. So.
As usual.
So what's all this? Who's Jack?
Jack. I think he was referring to Jakar.
Interesting. We'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah, the other brother. So there's Rhodan.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ahura Mazda, and there's Zamfir, and there's Khalib, and who's over like the Middle East, right? Mm-hmm. And Jakar was over Asia.
Wow.
Zamfir was always in the Earth somewhere, or sometimes he comes out. Is usually Pan-like youthful. Jakar was I saw him, could see his face. But very mysterious and did not want to interact. When I see her and Maz, I see he's very far off in time. Probably the furthest away of all of them. So why would he have done that? I don't know. Maybe you're in China at some lifetime?
Well, a pill of red and one of black has made his power return from Jack. So I wonder what that is. A pill of red and one of black. One black pill and one red pill. Yeah. Yeah. Lovely flower, by the way.
No, the red pills is taking the symbolic of like the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm. And what's the black pill? Yeah, it's interesting.
I'll have to find out more. He's always in a riddle.
Yeah. He likes to, he's a distractor. He's like, spend some time on this, Huh. Anyway. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm Meetis times, It's quite a rap bit at the end,
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing with the strings, the silver thread that we have of life.
Yeah, now that was an interesting little thing, and that he tweaks it. If you've been
It's like an instrument.
yeah, but only if you've been bad.
Yeah, if you're being bad, he can tweak it.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like, what it looked like is, when you swing something, and then you're trying to create a balance, but as you're trying to create the balance, then it swings too far in the opposite direction. So he lists the reasons why people, get to that place where they can be tweaked like that. But he was admitting that he was actually tweaking people around me. I'm like, well, doesn't that make sense?
But so I mean, he's basically saying, these people have inherent weakness or inherent tweakability because of their bad behavior anyway. But he's just taking the piss around you, as he always has been. That's why I get slightly annoyed, because he mistreats you.
Yeah. But he's, he challenges me, and I think, there is a saying about how that you, it's like honing a skill, or learning. And so in some process and some reason that we learn from these things, these challenges, and opposition does make us better at times. Not to the point where they send us flying and we really get hurt, but just enough.
Yeah, well, it's good to have a sharp blade, but you don't want it worn away.
Right.
So, what's happening? Looping? Oh,
we out of sound? No sound.
No, we're still recording. Looks like the other one's gone off, so I'm just going to give it a kick and see if that will get them back online. There we go. So that should bring us back. Sorry about that. Don't know why that happened. We've been so on.
You can hear us now?
Yeah. Everything's good.
What we were saying is that, the challenges of Meetis, playing with that string is due to, when people are out of alignment, and they're I'll say it like this, I think it's when you're violating your conscience and doing things that are wrong, or trying to misalign or hurt people, being jealous, and get in control of your jealousy, get in control of your anger. Don't be overly competitive that you obsess over it. It's good to have a healthy competition that you achieve and thrive, but not to the point of cutting someone else down in the process. And all of these things, I've been guilty of every single one of them, so I'm not here as anyone's judge, but he was pointing out that, and I was watching him do it, it's that silver thread that comes from, like, it's almost what keeps us here on the planet. It's related to our soul. And he is able to just tap on it or pluck it like you would an instrument, and it throws their vibration off. And then in order to align with that vibration, you usually go swing a little bit too far to the left or right in the process, which further throws it off, and then somehow you think that you're adjusting it.
Overcompensation, we call that. It's like when you're in a skid and you steer your wheel the wrong way, and you think you should turn the wheel that way and it should go the opposite way, and you turn into the skid or turn away from the skid into the anyway. It makes it worse by trying to control it in an unskilled way.
Mm-hmm.
So very interesting.
Yeah. I just want to remind everyone that we're going to be we're having the council, the Interstellar Council, starting right after the show. So stay tuned. We're going to be coming in together with Viking. Will be joining me, and we'll be covering some different topics. And other people are invited to come in and speak with us as well. So
I think in order to keep everything running here at the studio, and I need to put the chickens away and stuff, so we could wrap up just now and play some music. By the way, all the music that I played earlier on today and around here, it's music that was originally part of the Musicians Network. Nobody's ever used this. It's like this is music that has never been published. Well, some of it has, but this is the one I'm going to play after this show is one of my favorites. It's called Tink, actually. Funny.
I like that.
By Gandalf Murphy and the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, nice.
No, it's a brilliant track. I love it. It's real. And there's this, what sounds like a guitar, but it's actually a mandolin played with a slide through an echo unit. It's just astounding. It really is just astounding. So, Jessica, would you like to, just let everybody know where they can find you and how do you do readings for people by any chance?
Yes, I help people removing blocks and obstacles, helping them to see their past lives and bringing any information forward. Helping people with past life regressions as well, too, which I do my work over Skype. So if you are not local, and if you are local, I'd love to meet with you. So thank you for listening into the show today. Even though the messages can be very strong. I hope you see through it and learn something from it as I do when I'm channeling each week. Thank you, JP, so much for helping and contributing, and also you in the chat room. You're wonderful. Love you all, and I'll see you next week. And stay tuned for our next show of the Stellar Council.
From the future, by way of past. I bought my ticket for the 15th century. We started moving through a hole in